Hey,
Hi, how are you?
you?
I'm good. I'm Ariana. Nice to meet you.
Meet you. I'm Raphael. Oh, actually, right now I'm Jacqueline. How are you? I'm gonna change. All right.
Awesome. You are Raphael. It was funny when your publicist emailed me about the interview. I was literally editing Acapulco interviews for the junket they had last week. And I was like, of course I want to speak to Hugo. I've seen every episode. I have to speak to Hugo. But what was it like to explore this character for years at this point now?
I mean, I think it was like really, really fun. Honestly, when I was like, when I was a kid, I was exploring his sort of quirky side, but now we're sort of experiencing how he kind of reacts with Uncle Maximo and how he kind of like catches him on his little jokes and tricks. So I think it's a really cool dynamic between his younger self and Uncle Maximo, and kind of now as he's older, a teenager with his Uncle Maximo. So I think exploring that sort of growth and dynamic was really fun.
Yeah, when you heard about the show, were you excited to explore Hugo again? Because you shot the movie. The movie came out in 2017, so like over 5 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when I heard, I was like, yes, yes. I love the character so much. I love the concept and everything. And also like Acapulco is like loosely based off of Latin Lover. So I love that kind of aspect of it. So yeah, definitely. It was amazing.
Yeah. How would you say that you're similar to Hugo and how are you different?
Well, I'm definitely similar to Hugo in the sense that I mean he's definitely quirky and he definitely loves science and I love those things. But I think he can sometimes be a little too naive. And I think that I'm a little bit less naive than he is. Like, still, I'm not like, I don't know every little trick in the book. But yeah, I think that definitely sometimes Hugo can be shocked at like the world that his uncle had to go through while, I'm kind of learning about that.
Yeah. And so your character mostly interacts with Maximo Eugenio. How's it like to primarily have one scene partner? Because in Bunk'd, it's an entire camp of people, and other projects, it's multiple people.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, I think it has some like advantages and disadvantages. Obviously, I love the rest of the cast and I'd love to work with all of them, but definitely, I love Eugenio. He's such an amazing guy. And just being able to work with him one on one, I mean, I think that you learn so much more. I definitely love hanging out with him, love like working with him. So, yeah, I definitely think that there's an advantage to just working with him on one.
Yeah. So what have you learned from Eugenio? You've known him for like at least a third of your life at this point.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, not only have I learned so much about like work ethic and everything, but definitely one of the best things that I learned back when I did How to Be a Latin Lover was he taught me kind of how to cherish the sense that when you get into a scene, you kind of have to have this sort of backstory that you go into the scene with, so that you're kind of like already in character as you go into the scene. So he taught me that, and it's definitely something I've kept throughout my entire acting career.
Yeah. So this season, your character is actually in Acapulco. What was it like to shoot in some of the same places that the characters who are set in the 80s are? And you guys even kind of somewhat interact in a
Yeah.
non-spoiler type of way.
Yeah, not any spoilers, but definitely it was amazing. Not only like just being able to not much spoilers, but being able to work with some of the cast and being able to hang out with them, and not only that, but really be able to explore more of Mexico this season, that is just so beautiful to me, and definitely just exploring these different places were amazing. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So you're from Montreal, but you're also Latino. Where is your family originally from?
Well, actually, my mom is Brazilian and my dad is Panamanian. So actually, they met in Montreal, and then I was born there as well. I actually have two other siblings. I have an eldest sister and an older brother. I'm the baby of the three, and we all three of us acted. And when moved to Vancouver when I was one, and then I stayed there until I was seven, and then I moved to LA, and I've been living here ever since. So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely
So
that's kind
you're
of.
You've been everywhere. You speak so many different languages. What have you learned about your parents' culture? Because I feel like a lot of the show is about learning about your own cultural and your history.
Well, yeah, I mean, throughout my entire life, I've just been so grateful to be influenced by these different cultures. You know, my mom is Brazilian, like I said, my dad is Panamanian. So definitely they've influenced my culture. I've learned to speak Portuguese and Spanish, you know, and definitely just learning about that heritage, I can definitely see the sort of journey that Hugo is also going with learning about his own heritage, you know, the same way that I went and learned about my own heritage. So definitely it's just a beautiful thing to like kind of like relive that as Hugo.
Yeah. What would you say is your favorite character from the show?
Ah, that's hard. That's hard. You know what? I would say Memo. You know, I think that he's so funny and he's such a good character. He's so good-hearted. You know, he's kind of flamboyant, but in a way that I love so much. Like he's so energetic. He's so fun. You know, and everything. And I just think that there's so many awesome moments, not only in season one, but definitely in season two, that we're gonna see how cool of a character Memo really is.
Yeah, and we get to see Fernando in a different non-spoiler way. We get to kind
Yeah,
of explore
definitely.
that. I would
Yeah,
say
not
my
only that, Memo is played by Fernando, and Fernando is phenomenal. He's amazing.
yes. I think my favorite character, it's a bit of a cheat, is Minnie Mo, because I just think it's cute that someone would have a dog named Minnie Mo. Their name is
Yeah,
Maximo.
I know that is cute. You know, the dog was really cute. He was really cute.
Yes. So this season, Maximo explores his love life a bit more, other than like his kind of drama with Julia, and we meet Isabel. Without giving anything away, which we won't, of course. Who are you, team Isabel or Julia?
I don't know. I mean, I can't give too much away, but I think just because of the whole fact that in season one it was such a cool relationship, and now in season two it's kind of like developing, I'd say I'm team Julia. Yeah.
Ah,
I
I'm
think that
Julia
it's
too.
just, yeah, I think it's just a cool dynamic. And I think it would be really cool to just play out their romance over the course of the TV series.
Yeah. So a lot of the show is based in the 80s. What would you say is your favorite 80s trend, even though you were not around there at all?
Um, I mean, I could say one thing. I love sneakers. So, you know, in 1985, Jordan first wore his pair of Air Jordans on the court. So definitely the Jordan phase. That's something that I would definitely look forward if I lived in that era.
Yeah. So you're obviously also on Bunk, which is more of a children's center thing, and the cast is mostly kids. But you also have done so many different roles where you've worked with mostly adults. What would you say is kind of the difference between those two different types of sets?
It's definitely like a different dynamic, because definitely like with the kids, you know, it's like sort of similar but different, you know, because with the kids it's sort of like a more like a hangout kind of thing, and you know, like it's just like fun to be with your peers as well. But then as well, you learn so much, and adults are also super fun, you know, and then they're so awesome when it comes to like hanging out with kids and everything. So definitely I've had so much fun on both. And I wouldn't mind doing either one.
Yeah. What do you do on your downtime on set?
Um, I definitely, I mean, downtime in general, I like to do music. I like to write, you know, kind of like write essays and stuff like that, or like different narratives and stuff, you know, just on my free time. But yeah, I mean, sometimes I read books sometimes on set and stuff like that. So yeah, and oh yeah, you know, one thing I love to do. Sometimes they don't have them on set, but mainly just I love playing basketball and just playing
Mhm.
hoops. So definitely that's one of my favorite pastimes.
Yeah. Well, for someone who likes to write, and also you've been kind of in the entertainment industry since you were a child, which you still are, but you know what I mean. Do you see
Yeah, no, I
yourself
get it. I get it. Yeah. Yes,
do
I
you
get it.
see yourself writing for TV or movies in the future?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like for me, one thing that definitely interests me is definitely producing, but also being a part of the writer's room and being able to write my own TV show or movie would be incredible.
Yes. What I also found so interesting about Acapulco is that it's this bilingual show, which I feel like opens it up to such a broader audience. And for someone like me who's from the United States, I'm learning so much about Mexico and the culture that like you're not going to learn in a history book or even if I was just visiting as a tourist. What is it like to kind of be a part of a show that just celebrates that so well?
Yeah, I mean, definitely because of the whole thing that I come from a Hispanic heritage. Definitely, I love that they're celebrating this heritage. And also, since I don't come from a Mexican background, I come from like a Panamanian background, right? Learning about these Mexican traditions is also kind of like an eye opener for me. And it's really beautiful to see all of these traditions, and the stuff that, Hango's been teaching me about him, like, the traditions he used to do as a child, and, all these different Mexican stuff that are really awesome that I didn't know. So I'm even learning kind of like Hugo.
Yes, yes. Maybe you can teach Hugo Spanish because it's still like I'm just like how. But Sarah, like when I feel like there's a mystery there. I feel like
Yeah.
Hugo is a bit mysterious because I would think, especially as we're seeing young Sarah, that this wouldn't be the first time that he went to Acapulco and that she would have
Yeah.
taught him Spanish. So I'm just very curious about
Yes.
where we
How
can
this is
kind of
going.
explore Ugo more because there's just some things that just aren't adding up. And I feel like it's a bit.
Yeah.
But what's next for Raphael? What's next up on the docket for you?
Well, I can't say too much about it right now, but I've been doing a Cartoon Network TV show, so that's in the works. I'll keep you guys posted on when it's gonna come out. Also, I did a movie last summer called Incoming. It was produced by Artist Road and Spyglass and directed by the Chernin brothers, John and Dave. And I literally I can't wait for you guys to see it. It's the funniest thing ever. I love it. It's kind of like this coming of age story. So yeah, I can't wait for you guys to see it.
I'm so excited to see it. I love how all your characters feel like very true, very realistic, even if they're in the most bizarre situations. And you're also 15, so maybe you're going to start practicing driving to.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. That's another milestone on the way.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. I can't wait to talk to you about future projects and congrats on premiere day. I'm sure everyone's going to love it.
Thank
Okay.
you so much. Yeah.
You have a good one. Thank you so much. Bye.